Hi, I'm Katie, and I'm a very angry person. This is Hairbrush Girl. She's my spirit animal. And when I saw her, I actually stopped and thought, is that me? Like, we do look alike, and I can feel every ounce of her hand-clenching, chin-squishing outrage. But no, it's not me that I try to project, the happy, confident, smiling me. I would tell myself to suck it up, Buttercup, but in reality, I was sucking wind. I was exhausted, and I was angry that I was so tired. I was running on empty, and I've got to warn you, Hairbrush Girl was always lurking in the background. As a woman, a wife, a mother, and a member of a two-parent working household with upper elementary and middle school kids, life was great. But if you know, you know. They're old enough to be social, but they're not old enough to get themselves anywhere. So I just kept adding more and more to my plate. The peer pressure was real. And I'm not talking about teen peers, I'm talking about adult peers. The pressure to give kids advantages, to make them well-adjusted and happy, and to do it all. This led me to drive the length and breadth of St. Johns County, to get them to and from all sorts of activities, and it broke me. I wasn't doing it alone, but it sure felt like I was in a Bermuda Triangle, time sucking my life away. But then something truly happened, horrible happened. COVID-19, the pandemic, and the world ground to a halt. All our activities stopped or drastically changed. We all slowed down physically while wondering, what next? I was alone with my own thoughts, but not alone, Hairbrush Girl. But instead of anger, I felt relaxed. We formed clusters, cohorts, and trust circles. We had social distancing visits in driveways, and my mom sewed masks to show off our personalities. And while I know I might get booed off this stage, it was kind of nice. I could breathe, I had space. I hear the irony. We got COVID dogs. Anybody else fall for that trick? And I do have to admit that there were times multiple dog walks were saving our sanity. But look at those faces. You know it was chaos. One of them didn't know he was a dog, and the other one was breaking for freedom every chance he got. I will admit these two love bombs did help keep Hairbrush Girl at bay for a while. And things began to normalize, the new normal, the after time. We were all cautiously dipping our toes back into society and finding ways to navigate our way back. And I wasn't as angry. I became a virtual teacher. Kids went back to school, and now we were back to work, back to school, back to everything. Everything. And then something truly horrible happened. I was right back in the thick of it. I'm a teacher. I learned nothing. I was back in that time-suck triangle. I was running from one thing to another, barely looking up, definitely not taking care of myself or for anyone else for that matter. And while I tried to hide her, Hairbrush Girl was back. So while we all may have felt steamrolled by the past few years, we have to remember that we all learned how to say no. It was encouraged, it was celebrated even, and then we forgot about it in the giddiness of togetherness, and we went right back to the grind. But could we slow down? Could we say no? Yeah, we can, and lucky for me, I have a guide. Not Hairbrush Girl, but my mom. She was always doing everything, but I also heard her tell people no. Even Father Balthazar, the most feared man in all of South Tampa, could not get that woman to do something she did not want to do. And ironically, I'm pretty sure that it was about public speaking. But between those no's, she said yes, joyfully, fully, about so many things, and it made me think, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but can I be more like my mom? The kids were driving, and I won't lie, that was huge, but I also had amazing friends who were ready for no too. Some because, like many of us, they were told no. They lost their jobs, they lost loved ones, they had other things happening, but those no's turned to yes. I had people around me who were up for a walk, a disco roller skating, we don't care if we're 50 and we're probably gonna break our hip party, and things like Irish box breathing, do it with me. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, oh, for fuck's sake. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, oh, for fuck's sake. I wasn't just a cook or a taxi driver. Our family could try new things. We have adventures together, but we didn't all have to do everything because other people can tell me no. But the more I took control, the more people I found to come to say yes with me. Because saying no doesn't have to be a negative thing. It's about giving yourself permission to choose a yes. When we find ourselves feeling like Hairbrush Girl, it's time to think, can I slow my roll? Just say, it's not my jam, I'm at capacity, or I'm not up for that right now. And what could you do instead? Because while we think about choices a lot these days regarding politics, we get to vote in other ways about things every day. We can vote with our voice, with our feet, maybe a hairbrush, if it comes down to that. And we all have things that we have to do, but there are also things we're expected to do, should do, pressured to do, whether it's real or imaginary. And in that space is opportunity to find what you want to do. So find your people, even if they're imaginary. Use your no and to say yes. Follow your passion, or at least explore to find out what you're passionate about. I've tried pottery, and I have found out I can make bowls and plates. They are heavy enough to hold your house down in a hurricane. So I haven't found my exact passion yet, or Bigfoot, but I'm still looking. I'm also coming up on my 35th high school reunion, and boy, do I want to say no. I'm more than 35 pounds heavier than I was back in 1991. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm working on a yes. You never know what you'll find or what adventure your next no will lead to. When the old PK team said, nope, we can't do this anymore, I was lucky enough to be able to say yes. It means no, dinner probably won't be ready on time. No, I'm not able to meet you for drinks on Sunday. Practice. But you know what? I get to say yes to this amazing crew and keep this crazy thing going. So please don't let it take another pandemic or worldwide disaster or getting Rift or Doge to get you to start slowing down. It doesn't all have to happen. Nobody's watching it. So unless it's a PK team member asking you to share a story, say no. But not to us. I survived, and look how happy I am.